What's good, guys? It's your boy DB back with some more free-to-play rookie tips for all you new players that have come into Marvel Strike Force lately. I see a lot of you in my streams. Yeah, you're not really sure what you're doing, and you're missing a few key things that should help you along the way. These are things that I've gradually picked up, or things that have come into the game and are just not covered by the tutorial anymore. The tutorial actually leaves quite a lot out that would make your life a lot easier, and I'm hoping to break them down nice and quick just so you can implement these into your game. Let me just switch scene because I'm really bad at having things prepared when I'm doing these videos. You'll learn this. Anyhow, right, so advanced settings is going to be the first thing that I break down, because quite frankly these things should already be implemented in the base game, in my opinion, and for some strange reason they're not, and they need to be turned on. A lot of people just aren't even aware they're there. One of the first ones being, let me get rid of these pop-ups. One of the first ones being seeing your item count in stores. Like here we go, we can't really tell what we've got unless we click on it, and then we can see how many we own. Well, there's actually a feature here in the advanced settings, and another pop-up, that we can turn on so we can see that ahead of time. Here we go, item count in store. We click that. Now we go back and we can already see it without having to click. It's just a nice quality of life thing that saves us having to do that extra click, speeds up the game a smidge. That should be on by default. I don't know why it isn't. I don't know if there's just something in the code that prevents them doing that. But if they can make that a default setting, they really should. That's just one of those nice little speed up tips for you, saving you those extra clicks, which allows us to get through the game a little bit quicker. Another one of the advanced settings that really should be on by default actually is part of Blitz. Now, many of you new players, once you get Blitz open, you're going in and you're seeing something like this, is my guess. It'd be one of those two settings, but essentially you fight your battles, and that's that. Another quick one to point out, click this button right here, Sim. If you don't, when you click battle, you're going to go directly into a fight. However, if you have Sim clicked, it's going to do it automatically for you. As long as you've got decent teams set up, you'll win, and you can climb up and get through these rotations a lot faster. But anyway, back to the advanced setting point is here when we say we fought this battle and we want to change team. We're going to have to click this. We're either going to have to manually select our squads here, or we're going to have to go and click this to find our pre-saved teams, to go to the next one, click that, and do that before we can find an opponent and fight. Now that's very long-winded, and there is a faster way that's also in the advanced settings and should already be one of those default options. Is here, cycle through save squads in Blitz menu. If we click that now and go back to Blitz, you can see we now have these little arrows besides our teams, which allows us to just cycle through our squads at the click of a button. I do not understand why this is not already a default feature either. It makes no sense to me. It's so much faster. You can simply click, do that battle, click, do that battle, and you're done. It blows my mind that that's not already turned on by default. The next feature is actually how to turn on auto basic. This came into the game quite recently. If we, I'll show you, for example, if we go into an arena battle, I don't really care about winning. My shard is full of monsters, and I came back into the game after like a 7-month break, so I'm a little bit behind, but I'll show you where the setting is, and it's in the same place to actually turn on as those last ones. I'll show you exactly what it looks like. But here, as this is how it'll normally look for you. You'll have the auto button, you'll click it, it'll fight and generally do lots of stupid stuff and lose for you. But if you have turned on the auto basic tab, when you click it, you'll get this option as well, and you can click and you'll only do basics. This is so handy for raiding, because a lot of times you want to get your cooldowns back, so you're able to have your ults and your specials ready to go in the next one, especially if you're doing Doom Raid. You really want to be able to like stun with the symbiotes right away. You really want to be able to spread offense down so you can flip it into offense up and stuff like that. So having that as an option is very, very handy to have turned on. Even if you're not going to use it, it's always there. It is an extra click. I do wish it put an extra button on the screen. It would probably be a little bit more efficient, but that perhaps they just don't want to clog up the user interface. I'm a full believer in the less clicks the better for things, and basically it is right here again in advanced settings. If we scroll down, show basic only autoplay option, so you want to turn that one on so you've got access to that as well. Those are probably the key ones in here. If you've got a complete potato of a phone or a really weak PC, perhaps you don't have a graphics card, you got built-in graphics, then you might want to turn on enable low graphics mode just to reduce the strain and things. But yeah, otherwise you're fine. This little option right here is ideal if you're going to use MSF.gg and you want to auto upload your roster, so you don't have to actually type in every single little character and level and ISO yourself. You're able to flip the screen, take screenshots in a PNG file and upload them, and it captures about 95% of it correctly. So that's another option. That way you're not just screenshotting 5 characters at once, you get a huge batch. Now, tip number 2, back to Blitz, this one. Another huge rookie mistake I see when players are coming in and like, how do you get such big Blitz scores? And this is because they're manually playing, as I showed you earlier, and they're going in, they're grabbing their biggest team, they go, they battle, they click, they do whatever, and they'll get their win, and that's that. And they're like, well, I don't get as many points as you. And that's coming down to here, this tiers and this multiplier, you see. As you climb up with consecutive, I can say the word, consecutive wins, your multiplier goes up, your tier goes up, you're getting more points. So the big thing to do is not be burning your best teams first. Use your weak ones. That's why team number 1 for me in my little cycle rotation thing is my worst team. They'll always lose. They'll bring the multiplier back down for me and such. And when I first start, they'll actually pick up a few wins, which is quite surprising. You see my multiplier here, that those little bars dropped. If we go and use my mercs, we'll find, yeah, they'll definitely lose to that. We'll do that again. You'll notice my tier will drop here. This will bring things down a little bit for me, and then as I get back towards my better teams, my tiers will climb. Although as you get later game and have stronger and stronger teams, you'll win pretty much all of them and it gets quite easy. But yeah, you really want to use your lower teams to build up those tiers as you first start your blitz, and then use them again to bring it back down to where your teams are able to win again, because you don't want all your best teams losing their battles, because they're the ones attaining you the most points. And actually setting up a blitz rotation is quite important. To do this, if you click here and change team, let me just grab random characters because I've already got mine built. But let's say we were going to build that team. Please don't. But let's say you're going to build that team. You would select it in here, you click this little button, and it will auto save it to your blitz squads for you to cycle through. If we just do that there, so squad saved. Now we go here, it'll auto load the blitz saved squads, and you'll see it right at the bottom, and you can then reorder its position. To say it's your weakest team, you can continue to click this and scroll up until we get into the first place spot. We're clearly not going to do that because it's not a team I'm ever going to run. It was just an example, but that's what you can do. If we just click manage right now, I can select that one team there that we just put together out of complete randomness and delete it. But you're able to do copy and paste and shift around in that very same way. This allows you to change the order of squads. So some people like their strongest team first. I like my weakest team first because it just saves me cycling through basically. And that's the way I would do it. You can see I've got 34 squads, I believe. Starts with hand, then it goes to my mercs, then it goes to my supernatural, then my young avengers with Spider-Man, my power armor, then my Kree. And as we go in, you can see my teams are gradually getting stronger and stronger towards the ones I'm actually developing and using. Yeah, and the latest characters, you got what, Tandy and Ty, and you got Deathpool and Silver Surfer. Here we got a proper Sinister Six team. Up here we're starting to get to the Uncanny X-Men, the Secret Avengers. So the teams are getting stronger as you go along because I want my multiplier to be at its highest, earning the most points, so I could really get a decent placement. I generally do about 15 million without massively trying in Blitz, and that's how I'm doing it. And to get some help in that regard, if we go on to Discord, I highly recommend Discord for Marvel Strike Force. There is also a Reddit group, and there is also a couple of Facebook pages that are quite good as well. And you can see if we click on like the Blitz here of this is the Marvel Strike Force infographics Reddit, Discord group, which is actually fantastic. I love this place. And you can see that you'll have people that have put together these huge blitz rotations to help you with an idea of what you want to break your roster down into. You obviously won't have 34 teams at the start, but you might actually have 3 or 4 of those which you can place, and then you can throw some randoms together as your first and second squad when the battles are generally easier on your initial run, so you'll get some wins and you'll get those multipliers stacking. But pretty much every content creator has their own version of this. You can pick which one suits you best. I used to use casinos. I forget the name of the blokes that I'm using now, I apologize, though I believe he's actually stopped, and I'm gonna have to likely transition to using a new creator or just coming up with my own. I actually make a few tweaks and more or less use my own outside of the odd squads anyway, so perhaps I'll launch my own one on my own Discord server. A little plug there. Join my server. It's down there in the pinned comments. So that's something I would highly recommend you do. Divide your roster into an actual saved squad rotation, weakest team first, turn on this little arrow feature, scroll through, and you're going to have better blitz results. Now on to tip number 3, and it's not really so much a tip, it's really something that new players should know. It comes down to real-time arena. Real-time arena is trash. It's a really rubbish mode that nobody likes to play. What a lot of us veteran players will do is this. We'll take Phoenix, we'll take a bunch of level 1 garbage, and that's exactly what this is. I mean, I haven't got round to working on my Weapon X team. They're a war squad. I can't really prioritize a war squad when I've got Doom and DD4 that I'm working towards. You can see level 1, I've just chucked them in. I go into a battle, and all I do is then click auto, and generally what will happen is my opponent will get 5 knockouts, I will get 5 knockouts, and it's great. This is not one of those teams. This is one of those teams I will lose to, which is absolutely typical. But you're really just trading knockouts in exchange for points. Winning doesn't matter in this mode, which is what makes it very, very strange in my opinion. You can see they wipe out my stuff, they'll drop Phoenix. Phoenix will become Dark Phoenix, where she will then generally get kills or wipe out their full team. But unfortunately for this example, I don't think that's going to be the case. This is one of those annoying squads that will generally beat Dark Phoenix anyway. But in theory, that's how it works. Whereas when we're actually getting into the milestones that we're trying to accumulate to get free rewards and stuff, the most efficient way of doing this in RTA now is actually via Blitz. And that's why I put a lot of stress on Blitz being important. That was a terrible example, but take my word for it, it's what happens. I don't want to sit here for 30 minutes on a video trying to get the game to cooperate with my advice, because yeah, some people do that for whatever reason. They really like to win. I don't see any point in it. I guess they don't Blitz, but as you can see, you'll get 10 points for a knockout and 3 for a Blitz win. I actually complete all my dailies, and I always complete my weeklies by blitzing. This week I'm likely to miss this one because I actually took a few days off of blitzing. I needed a break after the Lady Deathstrike milestone, okay? Cut me some slack. I'll be back on it afterwards. I'll still hit this second highest one. And through simply blitzing and then doing my 2 minimum RTAs a day, I will pick up the rewards. You see I'm already on to 21. And that's without really playing RTA at all. Just doing the Phoenix method. If you don't have Phoenix, just chuck in 1 good character and a bunch of trash. Sometimes I do it with Doc Ock if Phoenix is disqualified. Other times I'll just throw in Symbiote Spider-Man or whatever I really feel like doing. It doesn't matter. Winning in RTA isn't actually important. I do 2 battles a day. I don't care about the mode. No veterans do. It's a huge time sink, and there's no real sense of achievement or accomplishment via playing it anyway. So yeah, on to tip number 4, baby. This one is actually a very good one early game, because early game you're going to want to make the most of your red stars. You're going to have no red stars. Red stars are they're an extra, what's the word I'm looking for? They're basically just an extra way of boosting your character stats, but the worst thing is they're at random. Opening them is a real pain. You don't want to just get anything. You want to try and gear it towards getting the latest red stars if possible. Right now, if we scroll to the bottom, we can see there is no bonus drop. However, when new characters come, there is a short period of which there is a 15% drop on said new character. Recently it was Xerxes. I was actually really unfortunate. Despite opening about 25 orbs and a bunch of elites, I didn't get a single red star for her. That seems to be strangely common lately. I had the same on Silver Samurai. However, I did get Omega Red and I did get Lady Deathstrike at least. But it's going to increase your chances of at least getting the latest good character. So my advice there is when you have red star orbs, don't open them straight away. Wait for the newest toon, because you've got 15% drop of at least getting the newest toon at 1 to 7 star. And yeah, it's just going to be the most efficient way of doing it, because the newer characters are generally the better characters. All these games have a power creep, just like the card battling games do. So you're best off having said power creep on the best characters. And you know, if it doesn't roll that, then you're going to get one of the other random characters that are here, which is essentially everybody, I think. And it's not going to make a difference, is it? But at least you're going to have that small extra chance of getting it on the latest good character. Right now there isn't, which is why I'm still sat on 2. As soon as Xerxes disappeared, I was like, fine, I'll wait till, was it Icarus or whatever his name is from Eternals is the next character to come in, so I'll wait for him. Then I'll open whatever red star orbs I have accumulated from here and the elite ones that I've accumulated from here. Obviously, as a new player, you're not going to have any elites for a while. You get the elite currency when you get a duplicate, like a character you already have 3 red stars on, and then you open another 3 or a 4, you'll gain this currency here to open these orbs. And totally ignore these right here. Don't even bother with these promotion credits. It's a total waste. Just save it for the elite star orbs, especially if you're new in the game, when you have so much you need red stars on. I don't have so much that I need red stars on these days. I pretty much need those 5s and 6s on most characters, so it's a little different for me, but a new game, that's exactly what you'll be wanting to do. Final tip number 5 is really about resource management. And really early on in the game, you're going to want to be focusing all your efforts and building your Dark Dimensions teams. You're not going to have those straight away, but the last thing you want to do is get the mode active and open and everything, and you don't have the stuff developed for it and you can't get going. Dark Dimensions gives you an insane amount of gear. Dark Dimensions 1 is gated behind 6-star characters. Don't make that your priority, because that's something you'll organically get to. You'll organically attain more stars over the time, just through orbs, and once you've running out of things to farm and you just start grabbing other characters and finishing them off in your stores. So you'll end up doing that one then. DD2 is probably your initial focus. This requires gear 13 characters. You won't actually be able to see the rewards in there, but you will in DD3, for example, because I haven't finished my second run of it yet. But you can see you get a lot of goodies. A lot of goodies. It's the same in Dark Dimension 2 as well. So you really want to be hyper-focusing your resource management, your gold, your training mats, and your gear. And the way to do that is really only to take characters as far as they need to go. One of the early teams that a lot of people put together, for example, is Sinister Six, because you need a villains team. I see some idiots out there saying, get Red Skull Hydra as your first team. That's the dumbest advice in the world, unless you spend, because Red Skull can't even be farmed till level 75 in the Doom campaign of all places. So yeah, that's terrible advice. This team can all be put together really, really early outside of Ock, but as I said in my previous video, he's a late game thing you'll add anyway. But as you can see, my Swarm, my Electro, they're gear 9. They didn't need to go any higher for the purpose that I was using them initially. So that means level 48 is as high as I need to take them for gear 9, because level 48 will allow you to get that far, and this far on abilities. Level 54 will allow you to get to gear 10. I don't need to go there, so I'm saving that gold, taking them only as far as the gear requires. Do that. That will save you a lot of trainer mats and a lot of gold. There's a lot of characters you won't need to take very far. You're only going to use them early game. They're going to fall off, and you're going to start getting access to end game stuff through those squads, allowing you to then develop what you really need to develop. There are a lot of guides out there for Dark Dimensions 2 and 3, and they're changing all the time as new characters get released. better characters that are better suited for those older modes are now available. So check those Reddits, those Discord servers and stuff for the latest team, because previously it was things like having Star-Lord and having Minerva. As a result, you can see I have them developed for DD. Here we are for DD2. I've got 13 Star-Lord and a 14 Minerva. I probably wouldn't massively recommend Star-Lord anymore for DD2. I'd probably use him in 1 once I organically got his star up. But, you know, that's just an example of that resource management. I only took him as far as I needed to. However, I had made other mistakes in the past. I don't know if I've gone and corrected them now, but I ended up, here's an example. I've got a Gear 9 Shield Assault, but she's level 60. That's totally, that allows me to take her up to gear 12, I believe. But early game, I didn't know this. And I was wasting gold and I was wasting training mats. So don't make that mistake. That's a very key one. Gear 9 is generally suitable for anything. So level 48 is pretty much as far as you're going to want to take most of those early game characters. You can come back and further develop them later game once you're ahead and you've really got a lot of the newer stuff that you need built. So focus on those teams that I recommended to you before, and any new character that comes out into the game is generally going to be worth building, like Xerxes, for example. If you've got access to her now, if you've started recently, build her up a bit as well. Get her kind of ready. We'll see how she is once Icarus arrives, once other Eternals arrive. You may have a great team on your hands that you've got access to early game. That's one of the best things about Marvel Strike Force. You don't need 7-star characters. You can get the new characters at 2 or 3-star. You can gear them up to their highest ability. You can get a lot of use out of them, which really helps those new players. Hopefully these 5 tips will help you out. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get Marvel Strike Force going on this channel. And any other questions, you know what to do. Comments below or just hit me up on Discord or something. Till next time, guys, your boy is out of here.